covering every county. This is your statewide newscast, Arkansas Today.
Good afternoon, and thanks for watching Arkansas Today. I'm Hillary Hunt. Let's get to our top story. President Trump becomes the first sitting U.S. president to cross into North Korea already. A new video from North Korea celebrating that visit. NBC's Haley Jackson reports.
New fallout today after that unprecedented and unexpected moment.
I've never expected to meet you at this place.
President Trump meeting Kim Jong-un at the demilitarized zone between North and South Korea.
If Your Excellency takes a step forward, you will be the first U.S. president to cross the border.
With that single step, making history, becoming the first U.S. president to ever enter North Korea.
It's just an honor to be with you, and it was an honor that you asked me to step over that line, and I was proud to step over the line.
North Korean state media this morning releasing their own version of that historic meeting, including music and slow-motion video of President Trump crossing the border. The images also splashed across North Korea's newspapers. The two leaders talking for nearly an hour in the surprise Sunday summit, a kind of reset, agreeing to restart nuclear talks that fell apart in Vietnam earlier this year.
Over the next 2 or 3 weeks, the teams are going to start working to see whether or not they can do something.
While North Korea has released detained Americans and returned the remains of some U.S. troops killed in the Korean War, Kim has done nothing to show he's serious about denuclearizing, even testing short-range missiles this spring. Now, critics worry President Trump's getting played by elevating Kim's stature on the world stage and getting little in return.
I don't think that it's fitting for the United States to continue to erratically meet with a dictator.
Come on, let's go.
The DMZ meeting triggered by a tweet. The president inviting Kim to meet him. U.S. officials unsure until the last minute if Kim would accept. Once there, a chaotic crush. The new press secretary, Stephanie Grisham, even seen body blocking a North Korean official, telling American media to go into the room. Now, what's next? With the world watching, a fourth face-to-face may happen at home.
Did you extend the invitation for him to come to the United States, sir?
I did. Actually, at some point, it'll all happen. If it all works out.
This morning, investigators are trying to determine what caused a small plane crash in Texas that killed all 10 people on board. This is some sad stuff. The identity of the 2 pilots and 8 passengers not yet released. The twin-engine Beechcraft Super King 350, kind of looks like this one, crashed into a hangar at the Addison Airport just north of Dallas shortly after its takeoff on Sunday morning. Officials say the plane was on its way to St. Petersburg, Florida. That's according to flight plans.
We've noted that the airplane was damaged by impact forces and a post-impact fire.
Obviously, that investigation is still underway. Right now, you're looking at cell phone video that showed that thick black smoke billowing from this hangar after that crash. Investigators say the plane was completely destroyed by that fire. The hangar was not occupied at the time of the crash. As for the NTSB, they say the investigation will focus mainly on the things including the pilot's experience, the condition of the aircraft, the weather, and the communication with the tower. Back home in Arkansas, police still trying to figure out what caused a deadly house explosion in Greene County last month. And for the first time, we're hearing from a surviving victim. 19-year-old Michael Campbell died in that explosion on June 14th. His friend DeMarcus James tried to save him, but sadly he couldn't. He suffered second-degree burns and is still recovering.
I just wish I could have maybe got in there, could have maybe seen a way to get in there and known where he was in the house, I didn't know where he was in the house. I just heard him yelling in there.
As of right now, there's still no word on what actually started that fire. Parents, listen up. If your kids are swimming all summer long, it's really important for you to make sure that they're not taking on too much water. Studies show that kids can also drown outside of the pool. This is scary stuff. According to the Cleveland Clinic, drowning outside of a water source can happen to a child for several reasons. Some of those water struggles or falls requiring rescue that can cause brain injury or respiratory problems later on. Struggles in the water also can cause the larynx to close down as a protective response, blocking air from actually getting into the lungs. And when too much water is ingested in a struggle, parents should listen for a crackling sound coming from their child's breathing. Well, get this, happening today, California's new law requiring background checks to purchase ammo takes effect. Under that new law, all ammo sales must take place in person, even if that initial purchase was made online. Individuals will have to pick up their ammo at the nearest gun store. And Vermont cracking down on vaping, especially among teens. New state laws aiming to curb e-cigarette usage are now in effect. These include a 92% sales tax on any device used for smoking or chewing tobacco. They're also raising the minimum age to purchase tobacco products from 18 to 21, also restricting the retail and internet sales of e-cigarettes. Vermont lawmakers passed these bills back in February. Well, on this day in 1956, George W. Donaghy, the 22nd governor of Arkansas, was born. On this day in 1863, the bloodiest battle of America's Civil War began between the Union and the Confederate forces in Pennsylvania. And in 1961, Britain's Princess Diana, born Princess Diana Spencer in England. That's awesome. Well, check this out. Baseball season is over.